Okay, yes, I do. I've gotten a good place. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Brown Fevadori and I'm actually the head admin. So I'm going to read out the profile of our speaker today, and I really, really hope it will get you intrigued to hear from him. Okay, so Mr. Dayo Awolaja. He's actually a learning and development professional and career counselor, driven by the goal to upskill and develop young professionals by providing career advisory and support to ultimately bridge the unemployment gap and workplace learning deficiencies. He's instrumental in achieving set goals for L&D projects and keeping project scope within budgetary guidelines. With a degree in statistics, conducting recruitment and selection activities, talent management, and product launch, Dayo is committed to research, upskilling young talents, and ultimately bridging the gap of unemployment and workspace, and also the learning deficiencies across different countries in Africa. As a career counselor, Dayo has coached and mentored over 500 young professionals while providing career services such as CV reviews, cover letters, personal statements to over 2,000 students and job seekers in the last 4 years with a conversion rate of 40% overall. Okay, I actually just read his profile, and I'm wondering if you guys are really, really interested in hearing from him. Lois, what do you think from what I've just read right now? Hello, Lois. Please, are you still on the call with us?
Oh, yes, I am.
So, what do you think from what I've read thus far?
Okay, I think he's really learned when it comes to career path, and I
Okay,
would love to listen to him speak.
okay. I guess you're really, really curious to meet him now. How about you, Tina or Tena? Did I get it right?
It's Tenor, yes.
Tena.
I think it
Okay.
sounds very intriguing.
Come again, please. I didn't get your last statement.
I said I think it sounds very intriguing, so I'd like
Oh,
to hear from him.
okay. That's actually very nice. Okay. 14. He'll be with us in about how many minutes? Sorry, please. I can't hear you.
Yes.
While a typical teenager juggles school, sports, and socializing with varying degrees of success, a 16-year-old Nigerian teenager has got more in common with venture capitalists and complex algorithms than guidance and counselors and algebra. John Hussaini is a self-taught web developer and computer programmer who boldly writes programming languages and helps startups with cybersecurity. Our correspondent Abisola Dayo has the details in this report.
With his long strides and youthful look, John Oseni looks like every ordinary Nigerian teenager, but is anything but ordinary. The 16-year-old secondary school graduate is a tech tycoon. He ventured into coding and web development when he was 14 years old. Soon enough, he became a genius at what he does. By the time he was 15 years old, he helped his school create its website. Oseni says his journey was a completely alien experience for his family, but they soon adjusted to reality.
When I actually got started, then my parents were like, my character changed because John of then that like I used to be fully active in the arts, but sometimes I spend time mostly with my computer. Anytime we have time to talk, I keep on telling them that please, I'm solving the web problem. I'm solving problems for people, making the world more a better place, making everything unique for everyone. And when they actually started seeing that, they were not happy with me. But when they started seeing results, the old stuff were now everybody were becoming happy and making it more unique and sweeter.
Oseni says his biggest inspiration is Elon Musk, the billionaire tech entrepreneur and business magnate, which is why he tailors his activities like Musk's. He says he will not relent on his urge until he becomes Nigeria's Elon Musk.
Before you can actually create a product, you have to have a formula of what you're doing. So you alter formula to create new things that nobody has ever thought of. So more like me, I work a lot with chemicals and formulas. I work with physics. Everyone has been trying to say, okay, Jonathan is the next Nigerian Elon Musk. Yeah, by God's grace, that IQ and uniqueness will be there. For me to have started in the pace of almost a year or like 1.5 years or something, and I've gotten here, it's all grace.
With his skills, Oseni has now helped several startups in the city of Akure, southwest Nigeria, with software development and cybersecurity. He's also started a tech company, which is optimistic will take the world by storm by the time it launches.
I believe so much in my company. I believe so much. I see the vision of what I'm doing. I see the vision of everything that is coming up. So I'll say 5 months to 8 months or before the end of this year, by God's grace, we should have been established and all. And also, it's more like that. And I just gave a hint and all. So that's more about it.
The young teenager says he aims to create IT solutions for social problems that affect people not just in Africa, but in developing and developed countries across the world. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 News.
Hello. Hi, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Sincere apologies that I'm joining late. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Dayo. Welcome to SWORD, and we have Tina and Lois on the call. I've actually read out your profile, and they are really, really interested in hearing from you. Okay, please, can you start?
Okay, 100%. I also may not be able to turn on my video because apparently I had a video last night and I completely slept off. It was just now I woke up and I remember that I was already late. So let me meet everybody. I know Favor. Skills over drugs. What's the name so I can put a name to the face? I see the skills over drugs account. Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you. Okay, Fortune. Okay, Tina and Lois, it's good to meet you guys. How are you guys doing today?
Nice to meet you too, sir. I'm doing well.
Okay, great. What about you, Lois?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, what we're going to be talking about today is very simple and straightforward, but very important as well. And so, uh, but first up, I'd like to commend the initiative Skills Over Drugs, because you'd see, I particularly have realized that very many, and it's becoming a menace. Yeah, very many young teenagers out there today do not necessarily know what they should do with their time, and particularly when they are out of school for, say, maybe 3 months, maybe on holiday 2 months, or so they really do not know. Some after secondary school, even before secondary school, primary, post-primary, secondary, um, post-primary, secondary experience is always very tough for them. Why? Because they don't know what they should be doing between that period of time. Everything is just blind. So, and I mean, there's peer pressure very much evident in the society today. And so, the whole idea that I believe it is to ensure that that is very, very minimized, on all fronts, across all fronts. And I hope that with the initiative, we can reach out to even more people with SOD. Already a great and an important initiative it is. Also, for things like this too, you might not necessarily, and I'm saying this from experience, yeah, um, you might not necessarily get very many people to say that, oh, they are interested and they want to join and they want to be a part of it. You might not see the consistency. You might not see people join very much, people interested. Some people join in the beginning and they drop off, but you wouldn't get deterred at all, because for somebody who has thereabout, it's sometimes it's funny how that you would put in so much money to ensure that people learn. You even put it out for free, and then at the end of the day, only one person is going to show up and say, oh, because, and that's how I want to start what I want to talk about today, because really it is not your fault. It's the way that the society has been programmed. So you see that things like this, where people could actually learn, they they find it difficult to learn. They are unable to get their footing like really well, and or they don't just like the idea that it is something that is serious. So, but with one, two, three, four, five people, we can begin to make a difference, as the day, the weeks, the month, and the years goes by. So, you guys shouldn't be discouraged. I mean, we are just two or three having to be under the tutelage of this program. It's all in the process of ensuring you just ensure that you're on the good path, and then you invite more people who you think would like to benefit from it. And it's funny how that when we are benefiting from something really good, and that's how starts the idea of mentorship. When you're starting out your career, you must always ensure that you take someone with you. you know you must always ensure that you take someone with you. You are holding someone else's hands. That really is how we can change our world. And so you'd see that many times, one of the reasons why we don't make as much progress or as much impact is because we try to learn things alone. Okay, so but when you learn things, you should be learning it with other people. So the idea of picking up new skills, right, particularly in the tech space, is not so that you do it alone, learn it alone. be it alone, you know, and old other people, support other people in learning it as well. Now, the truth of the matter is, you might teach them, you might unhold them, you might introduce them to a particular skill, and along the way they just drop off, they just stop being your friends, they just stop being your friend rather, and they just move on with their life. That's okay. But what you have done is you have invited just one more person to the clan to be successful. Okay. So Lois and Tina, I'd like to see, and I'd like to also be present in the next webinar that will be coming up. I'd like to see you invite one or two persons, because really that is the focus of what I want to talk about. I'd really like to see you invite one or two persons that are your friends for the SOD program. Do I get your promise on that, Lois?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how many people should I expect to see from you?
Well, I'm not sure, but probably more than one.
Probably, madam. Also, we are even sure that there's going to be one person from you already. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. That's so amazing. Okay, one person from Lois. What about Sina? So, and Lois again, you can make it two, three. I'm going to be entirely impressed if I'm around for the next webinar and you get say up to three people. You can be sure that I'm going to give you a gift. Like cross my heart, I'll give you a gift. If you can get three people, yeah, to come for just more than one of the classes, to come to stay with you, right? Can be sure that I'll give you a gift.
Okay, sir.
Sounds great, yeah. Perfect. What about you, Tina?
Um, I didn't know that we're allowed to invite people, but I will try my best to.
Okay, and so let me also throw it upon Fortune, Annalise. They are allowed to invite people to join them. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So I want to believe that if they are allowed for the webinars, they can always invite people. And so, okay, great. So that really is the starter. Tina, I'd also like to see you invite people for the webinar. And um, in our careers, it's difficult for us to go the route by ourselves. And I'm going to ask very strategic questions, and this is going to be very interactive. Um, so I'll start with Fortune, right? Let me ask Fortune, and so that Fortune can be some sort of guidance. So Fortune, in the course of your career, maybe in school or maybe whatever you do, have you had anybody to ask questions about certain things that were unclear to you, and they provided answer to you in a way that made you understand the whole concept even better? Mm. Okay, great. So because I had to join late and the old rush, I'm unable to display my screen because I'd prepared a PowerPoint presentation, but that's in my laptop. I'm using my phone to take this call, but I'm able to like just run through from that presentation. Okay, so what about you, Annalise? Are you there? Good evening.
Okay, sir, please. Analyst is not available at the moment. I'm
Okay,
actually taking her place.
okay, Favor. So tell me, what about you?
Okay, yes, I've been opportune to find someone like a mentor to actually help me in specific fields and make things quite easy for me.
Okay, 100%. And so when you find a mentor, there's one word that Favor has used and she's used it well. What it does to you, it makes things a lot easier. Replace what now for replace mentorship for ease. Now, it's not ease that you the old path will now be very simple and you will not have to put in any hard work. No, not that. But ease in the sense that you have somebody to handhold you. So for example, this platform, right, is skills over drugs. You registered and you're part of the whole community. You're part of the community. Now, what it does to you is that it provides you with the knowledge that people that aren't here do not have. Now, is that knowledge important to you and important to your career? Yes, it is. Is it? 100% is. So you will not compare, you will not be on the same page with somebody who do not have this skill set that you have gathered. This is not just an upscaling platform, but it's also a mentorship platform because it now literally helps you to learn from other people. Okay, I've walked the path, okay, and you are walking that path. So if there's anybody that is better or that is the best person to learn from, it will be somebody that has already walked the path. Okay, and so I'm also going to ask questions as regards their career as fortune. May I? Have they chosen any areas where they are really interested, like particular areas? Okay, so Lois, let's be sure that we're on the same page as well. Is that correct about you, or what's your interest really?
Yes, I chose graphic designing.
Okay, graphic
But
design.
do
Is
you
there a
mean
reason you chose? Sorry.
sorry, please, do you mean like what's my interest for as career choice or for
Yeah,
this
as a
profile?
career choice.
Okay, I want to become an ethical hacker. So,
Okay, that's like cyber security.
yes, cybersecurity.
Okay, why did you choose cyber security?
Well, I chose cybersecurity because I've been seeing the high rate of cyber fraud and I don't like it. So I decided to choose cybersecurity.
Okay, so now you sound like a 27-year-old person.
Oh,
That's like, so what you have just done is that you've put a lot of clarity to what you want to do, and that's like really really good.
thank you,
That's
sir.
impressive. I'm very impressed. I'm very
Thank
impressed. Are
you,
you in
sir.
the university now, or what's your academic level of education?
About entering university. I just finished secondary school. So
Ah, that is very nice. Okay, fortune, kudos to you guys. Oh, you guys are doing a good job. Um, Tena, what about you?
I chose social media sorry, digital marketing for this um course, but like my personal this thing, I'm going to study nursing.
Okay, you're going to study nursing. Okay,
Yes.
that's nice. Is there a reason you chose social media though?
Yes, because I have my own business online, so I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get more information, like more knowledge. Yes, more knowledge on how to run it.
Mm. Okay, great. That's very important. And so, from what you both have said, you'd see that one thing is very prevalent, and I've mentioned, and it's the first thing I'm talking about. In mentorship provides you career clarity. Okay, mentorship provides you career clarity. I'll put a story to that. When I was 7, I I was I needed I knew that immediately I was done 7 I would need a job. All right. And so I didn't know how to go about that quite well. And so what I did was I just started looking out for opportunities that would provide me with somebody to just to learn from. Okay, and it came quite quickly. Okay, I got a job while I was still serving, so the job needed me to be there immediately I was done serving. And so the particular person that I was working with at that time, that was my boss, she was, or she's still very crucial to my career growth, because everything that I needed to know about what I wanted, I learned from her. Okay, and so that's how it is as well. Mentorship provides you with clarity. Now, be sure, right, that sometimes the reason why you have decided to do something might change. Okay, you might along the way just realize that maybe you do not want to follow a particular path anymore, and that's totally okay. And so for me, when I graduated, I was very much interested in HR, like human resources, manage people in the workplace and all that stuff. And I was interested in the training arm of HR because I love to train people. I love to, go out for trainings and then talk to people, and then, really, really corporate trainings. Yeah. And so, but along the line, right, my interest in HR really dropped. My interest in training didn't drop, but my interest in HR dropped. I didn't really want to do HR very much anymore. So I just delved into the next available thing which was e-learning. So I started literally developing e-learning courses, and that was a way of training as well. So but before that time, before university, when I finished secondary school, I had a dream to become an aeronautic engineer. I only no wonder what is happening to that dream right now. So first up, I was not even admitted into the university as an engineer. And so you'd realize that um, yeah, the society will now begin to define what your career path should be sometimes, with um, and which is why it's good to be in an enabling environment. Okay, so because if you're not in an enabling society or economy, you'd realize that when you're supposed to easily get, so for example, we don't have many institutions who treat cybersecurity as a course in the bachelor's degree level. So what you'd see most is computer engineering or computer science. Also, from computer engineering, you can then now begin to specialize in that area. Okay, and some people, they want to get into computer engineering, computer science, and it becomes very competitive, becomes eternally competitive. They cannot get in, and instead of them getting computer engineering, they now get maybe mathematics, and then for another 4 years of their lives, I don't know if Fortune can relate to what I'm saying, but for another 4 years of their lives, they are wondering what they should be doing with it. You see what I'm saying? So mentorship does provide you with clarity. It makes you chase it regardless of the many naysaying system that will be around you. Okay, so 2 years 2 years from now, you can your idea about what you want to become could change. It could change. Now, if they told me that I will be interested in product design some 3 4 years ago, I didn't even know that there was anything called product design 4 years ago, because it wasn't very prevalent at the time. Okay, so it was graphic design we knew. So your product design now is very much coming to the limelight. But people who had mentors that time, people who had people to talk to say that, oh, this is what we have gone through, this is the mistake we have made, and we do not want you to make this type of mistake. You know, they helped some of those people that started out in the field some 4 years ago. That is what mentorship does for you. And that's the first thing. It helps you with clarity. Okay. So the second thing that mentorship also does to your career development is responsiveness. Okay, it helps you become more responsive. It keeps you in the know. It gives you the required information that you should have. Okay, so because and I'll paint a scenario for you. It's like somebody who is trying to get to, and I'll ask Tena. Someone is trying to get to um where are you familiar with now? Where do you reside, Tena? Are you there, Tina? Or lawyers?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you come again?
Okay,
Network was
okay, that's fine. I said, where do you reside? Are you in Nigeria?
yes, I'm in Nigeria and Port
Where do
Harcourt.
you? Okay, Port Harcourt. I don't really know so very many. So, okay, give me two cities in Port Harcourt that you know very well.
Port Harcourt. Okay, okay. There's Ada George and there's let me say location.
Location, is that the name of a city?
It, Port Harcourt is a city itself. Actually, I'm just giving the name of
Yeah,
different
so
places.
yeah, I'm like cities in Port Harcourt. From Lagos to Port Harcourt, right? I need an
Yes.
enabler. I need a channel to make me. It's like I'm at point B, A, right? But I can't get to point B if I don't have a channel. What do you think that channel will be? A vehicle,
A
a
vehicle,
means of
a mode of
transportation.
transportation.
Yes, or maybe perhaps an airplane. Okay, so I could go to
Yeah.
the airport and then board a plane, right? Aha. So that means of transportation would can be called a channel, right?
Yes.
100%. So in mentorship, somebody who is a mentor or a system or a platform that serves as a mentor serves as a channel. Okay. And they help you be in the know. They help you responsive to the things that's happening out there. So because I, I might have an idea of how to get to Port Harcourt, right? But I do not know, I don't know precisely how, if it's the right one. So, for example, if I now say, okay, what I'll go and do is, since I'm going to Port Harcourt, I'll just go to I'll go to maybe Berger or what's it called? Lagos Ibadan Expressway. I'll just stand beside the road. Excuse me, please. I'll just stand by the roadside. Yeah, thank you. I'll just stand by the roadside and I'll just um hail a vehicle that, oh, the vehicle should just wait, and then I'll just enter the vehicle and the vehicle would carry me to Port Harcourt. I could do that, right? But what would that mean? That would be at the risk of me. That would mean me risking my life. Yeah, it will mean that I've just committed my
Yes.
life into someone's and someone whom I do not know. And so, but if I get somebody to tell me, so for example, our parents are direct mentors, natural from birth mentors, right? So if I get my parents to tell me, no, 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 don't do that. What you should do, you should go to God is Good Motor Park, or you should go to Sabino's Motor Park, or you should go to which other motor park there is, any other motor park that you know. Just go. And then they are more, they are legal, their transport system is safer and all that stuff. So you go there, you enter into the bus, and then you get to Port Harcourt safe, no issues, right? But imagine if you had gone with your own intuition of how to do things, right? You'd realize that you are not in the know, you don't have the information, the right one, to be able to run well. And which is why I wanted to talk about this, because you must always seek to find out, to find a mentor, somebody to hold your hands beyond beyond people who are beyond people who necessarily want to help you. Okay, so we've also seen, I just mentioned our parents. Now our parents are direct mentors, they are direct mentors from birth, right? We didn't even have to choose that. They chose, did we choose them or did they choose us? None of us chose our parents. Maybe our parents chose us. I don't know. I don't think they chose us as well. I just God gave us to them, I suppose, right? But they are mentors. And then, have you ever been in an environment where you you have you ever been with your parents and then you wanted to make a particular decision, and then they think you should do it a certain way, and then deep down you just know that way they want you to do it is not really, you don't really like it, you believe that that's actually not the real way, That's not the way people should be doing it. That you have you ever been in that situation? Okay, so I've not interacted with Namdi Namdi John Paul. Namdi, are you there? Hello, Namdi, are you there? Can anybody hear me? You can hear me, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure Namdi is there. But let me do Lois then. IB, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. IB, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Okay, Vanessa is here. Okay. Hi, Vanessa, are you there?
Yes, good evening.
Hi, good evening. So I'm going to ask you a question real quick, but let me go with IB first. IB, so for example, have you been in that situation where your parents want you to do a certain thing and you just deep down you just feel like this thing they want you to do is like just old school, right? It's not the way it should be done. Like you know that there are better ways that this thing can be done. Have you ever been in such situation?
Yes, many
Yeah,
times I
many
have.
times, right? Give me one example of one that really made you feel bad.
Okay, okay, this was just recently. Um, Currently, I do graphic design. So my parents were actually advising, okay, go and do your masters and all those other things. Okay, focus on school because I studied computer engineering, and they were insisting I should further my studies to do my masters in computer engineering. And I was like, okay, I don't really need to do my masters. I could actually learn this thing that I'm doing online. I don't necessarily need to go to school physically to do these things because we already have online schools and all those things and all those courses and all that. But they were still insisting, okay, there are no, you need to do your masters is the way, that's the way forward. That's what everybody is pushing at and all that. And I'm like, the world has changed now. You don't actually need to go to school physically. You could actually go to school online to learn all those things and all that. But you know the way our parents' minds are. So they're already fixated on this particular thing. And since they think like, okay, it's been working like that, that's how it's supposed to be now. And a lot of things have changed now that there's technology and there's Zoom, there's so many ways you could actually learn online. So that's just one of it.
Oh, okay, great. And that's a perfect example because uh, I can relate to it very much as well. Our parents, they have they have a they have a notion that informs that no, there's a particular way things should go, and they're not necessarily wrong. It's just their own perceived idea of how it should be because of their experience. So you would now see, which leads me to the next idea, the next importance of having a mentor is that it gives you are opened up to a good amount of a long-standing experience. You can leverage on long-standing experience. Uh, while Because I remember that when I was trying to also get a job when I graduated from the university, and my parents wanted me to get a federal government job. They wanted to link me up with you know one of their friends in Abuja to get me like a federal government job. And then in their claim they said it was more sustainable, it had more there was more security for the job, that I cannot easily lose my job if I'm doing a federal government job. I'm going to have, and I can have many businesses as I want to, that I can open shop, I can open businesses almost everywhere in the country because it allows me, it's more flexible. But I knew I didn't want to do that, right? I knew I didn't want to do that. So in that case, that's the mentors. Those are the mentors that God has given to you. But at some point, right, you realize that in the in your area of interest, your area of expertise, they might not be able to provide the professional advice that you require. Not that they are unable to provide guidance on other areas, but they might not be able to provide that professional guidance. So, which now will mean that you need to latch on to somebody who has that professional experience. And I have said, my second point is that having a mentor provides you with the technical know-how,
And you're never too old to have a mentor. You're never too old to have somebody to hold your hands, to that you can speak to about certain things that you're going on, that is going on with you, as regards your career. So sometimes you realize that maybe you're having a slow start to your career. Maybe you're expecting that, when you just started out in graphics design or social media, or maybe product design or front end development. Uh, so sorry about that. Maybe it's not progressing really well. You're having a cold feet about, sorry, you realize that you're having a cold feet about it, and or it's not motivating enough. There are times when it's so difficult to keep up. Sometimes you just really need to talk to somebody that is different from your best friend, somebody that is different from your close friend, somebody who has gone through it, who has been through it. And so you must position yourself to have people who have long standing experience, because it does for you is that automatically. And I don't know if you have, we have all from different cultures, particularly the Igbo culture is very big on proverbs and adage, and the Yoruba culture as well. But they're very big on, you know, they're very big on cultural what cultural advantages, and sometimes they'll speak to you in a particular proverb, and it seems to explain everything that you've been going through, or the exact guidance that you needed. Do you understand? If that happens, right, at some point when you're talking to somebody, you might just find yourself quoting a particular proverb from your parents or from anybody who had told you, and then you just realize that you are literally just saying that to that person as well, so that they can learn from what has happened. It means that you have taken from the experience of a grown, from of an adult, of a mentor, and you have now made it your own experience. That's what mentorship does. It transfers experience. Okay, so for example, if I have a boss that used to say that used to love maybe the fintech very much, and the person keeps telling me that there's a great deal in fintechs these days, and the person is telling me that I should ensure that, and so automatically that will also become my interest, because the person has been able to tell me his own experience, from what he has gone through, and sharing with me. I can now decide to latch onto it and make something even more beautiful out of it. It's like a book. How many of us pick up a book, we read a book, and it feels like we're in the minds of men, we're in the mind of the author. It feels like it feels like we have emptied the author's head or mindset into ours. How many of us have felt that way? Fortune, have you ever felt that way? Pick up a book and you just feel like I know everything that but do you know that also is trying to say, you know, you must have felt that way like at some point or two. And so it's the way the world works, it's the way the universe work. You read 5 books, you have experience from 5 different people. You will not compare yourself who has 5 experience from different people to someone who has no experience at all from anybody. It's different. So, if there's anything that you'll take away from everything I've said, is that having somebody to be your mentor is crucial. But big question is, how do I now go about getting mentors? Because sometimes they don't know me. Sometimes I don't know them, right? How how exactly should I go about getting the right mentors? You latch onto platforms and you go for networking events. See, my first job was gotten through a career development fair, a career fair, and the career fair is a place where you go to meet employers of different backgrounds and from different companies, and they interview you based on your skill set. That was where I got my first job. It was interesting that I could get my first job there, because I I just went. So networking events will help you, you know. And if you are extroverted, if you like to talk to people, if you like to ask questions, it even makes it better, you know. But if you're introverted and you don't really like to relate with much people, all that, you can learn just a bit to do some sort of cold reaching out. If you don't want to, if you feel like maybe you don't want to go for networking events and all that, we have different platforms, social media platforms, where you can easily interact with people. So if you find somebody that you really like, maybe for example me, so maybe you're following me on Instagram, say Dayo Productive, and then maybe you like my content, you like kind of things that I'm putting out, and then you'd really like me to just guide you on certain areas. All you just do is, for that type of person, is you can just keep commenting on their posts. Oh, this is lovely. Thank you so much for always sharing. Thanks so much. But by the time you keep commenting, maybe it's LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is even more professional. By the time you start commenting, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that, and then you turn on post notifications for their posts, each time they put up something, you get it. What happens is that you are in the know of what they are doing. Also, you're always commenting. And there is no way they would not notice you at some point. Because deep down, everybody loves to feel accepted. The same way you like to feel accepted, that okay, somebody is listening to you, somebody said yes to you. The same way you you have that instant gratification of what you needed, is the same way even mentors, people who have 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in the field, the same way they like to think that they are being heard. So if you do pay attention and listen, to these people on those platforms, put up comments every time, it will be much easier, because then they will know you. And then one of those days you can then just slide into their DM and say, okay, how may I be of support? I'd like to ask you something about what you do. And so you must also know that reaching out to a mentor, it must always be you knowing what they do than you telling them what you want. Now, if you go to a mentor, you go to somebody who is extremely busy, who has an extremely busy schedule, and you need some sort of mentorship from them, and then you tell them that, sir, I know that you have a very busy schedule, but I really like to mentor me for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. You don't know how many people are sending that kind of messages to them as well, yeah. So you must always come from the point of, sir, I'd really want to understand what you do at, so for example, maybe it's skills over drugs, what you do at skills over drugs, and can I be of support? So when you come that way, it's a lot different. So for example, if maybe Fortune discovers I'm building a product called Covative, and maybe Fortune realizes I'm building a product, and maybe Fortune needs some sort of mentorship from me, or maybe Lois needs some sort of mentorship from me. And then she comes and she'll be like, "Dayo, can you please tell me what you do at Covative? Can you please tell me what you do at Covative?" Hello, can you guys hear me now? I dropped off for a second. Okay, yeah, I'll be extremely happy. I'll be extremely happy that you are asking me about, you're asking me about that. I'll be extremely happy. And so what I'll typically want to do is provide you with that information. So when I see that you are the kind of person who likes to learn, who likes to put himself forward that way, I would definitely take I would definitely take interest in you. And once I take interest in you, that really will be the beginning of it all. And I can provide mentorship to you. And that applies to very many other people as well. And so this is really the approach that you take when trying to approach somebody to be your mentor. Now again, I've been able to highlight to you why it is important that you have a mentor. People who have mentors move faster in their careers, okay, and they move a lot faster in their careers, okay. But people who do not, they move fast in their careers as well, but you will not compare it to somebody who has experience with somebody who has a long-standing experience, if you understand what I mean. So I know that there'll be an opportunity for people to ask questions. So Fortune, you can open it up, but really that is in the context of what I'd like to, discuss about mentorship in career development. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dayo. It was really enlightening, and I learned a whole lot about mentorship. And I think I'll go home with one thing: mentorship leads to clarity. Okay, so Lois at IB and others on the call, please, do you have any question for Mr. Dayo? Okay, Lois, please, you can go.
Okay, so my question is it possible to have several mentors in several areas, or you're supposed to just have like one mentor for like generally? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Lois, for that question. Now, you can have, and this is just according to how available, the people you want for to be your mentor are available. So, you can have, how do I put it, people that you revere, professionals that you revere in your industry, and learn from them, maybe from the contents that they put out. That's also some sort of mentorship, only that it's not direct mentorship, it's indirect mentorship. So you don't necessarily have to have mentors across all the fields that, okay, this field I must get a mentor, this field I must get a mentor. If you can get a mentor, then that's amazing. But if you cannot, you can always learn from them. They can be your model. Okay, they can be your model. You can learn from them from anywhere that they put their content. Some of them it's YouTube, some of them it's LinkedIn, some of them it's, but if you have the opportunity to um get to have mentors in different areas that you're interested, it would help you a great deal. So you can either go with both. You can either decide that, okay, no, you want mentors in those fields, or decide that, okay, if you cannot get mentor in those fields, what you do is you latch on to somebody that is your model. Anyways, everybody also should have somebody that's their role model. So they are their mentors, but they are not exactly their direct mentors. They're just like indirect mentors, and so that counts for something as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dayo. Lois, are you fine with that?
Yes, I am. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so please, does anybody have any question? No one else? Okay, that's fine. Okay, I have a few questions for you, Mr. Dayo. Okay, just two. So, in your niche, what keeps you going? Because sometimes I know I fall that whenever I try to do something, at some point I get tired and get frustrated. So, I noticed you've been able to do a whole lot. So, I'm wondering what actually kept you there? Like, what kept you pushing?
Oh, okay. That question is, I've always not known how to answer that question, but I the only one way I think that I can answer, and what I have adopted in my career, in my life generally, is that I'm always back to ground zero at the starting of a new day. I'm always back to ground zero, which means that the achievements from yesterday, so which means that the achievements from yesterday would not count. It means that the success of yesterday would not count today. The failure of yesterday would not count today. What counts is that it's a new day, and I need to make the best use of it. Now, if 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 that doesn't, because what that does for my brain is that it tells me that it's a new page that I'm on, and I cannot afford to mess it up. So sometimes you are not encouraged, sometimes you're not motivated, sometimes you're not disciplined enough to just want to go for it. Sometimes you just feel very discouraged by some of the things that have happened recently in your life, especially maybe when there are no good enough funds for you to continue what you're doing. Understand? But what helps me is that I just think about it, that Dayo, you're back to ground zero today. Today is another day to prove that you can do it. Today is another day to prove that you can do it. And and that you can change the world. You understand? So that's one way. The second way also is to be disciplined. Motivation is really overrated. When you say, today I don't feel motivated to do this, so another, but really, on the days that you don't feel motivated to do it and you do it still, those are the days that really count in your career. You'd see that the things that you achieve on the days that you don't really feel like it, but still did it anyway, they are grand, they're different. On the day that you don't feel like it, on a day that you've made a lot of mistakes and then just feel like you should go to bed, but regardless, you still kept on. Those are the days that make the difference. That's not to say that there are not times where you need to take a break when you are tired or when you're not encouraged enough. Yeah, the times that you need to necessarily take a break, you understand. But discipline discipline keeps you in check. It makes you know that, okay, this is a new day and it has to be a perfect one. And so for me, I mean, I'm a perfectionist too. I always like things to be ordinarily very perfect. So if I've not achieved something good for the day, I beat myself about it very much. So these are some of the things that have really kept me going. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, before you leave, could you please leave one word for us, or maybe a sentence? Anyone is fine, but just something that can keep us going.
Yeah, and it's what I say every time. Okay. Keep smiling, keep being productive. When you smile all the time, it's a different feeling, even when things are going wrong. And I was trying it like recently in the new place that I'm working. So I'll sit with my laptop, I'm working, but I'm smiling, and I realized that the kind of endorphin, the kind of toxic, how do I put it, I don't have the right word, but the kind of feeling that I get, the kind of feeling that is released in my bloodstream and my brain is different. When I smile and I work, it makes it look like there's something that I'm looking forward to. It makes it look like there's something interesting about what I'm doing. Yeah. And so for me, I always like to smile, and I always like to like be very, very productive. And so it has been my cliche for a long time. And that's the first one, but I'll give you two. And the second is that learning never stops, right? You keep learning regardless of what you go through, regardless of where you are, you keep learning. So two things for you people, I give you like double those. Keep smiling, keeping productive, and learning never stops.
Okay, thank you so much for the double dose,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Dayo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering if the slide would be available. Maybe you could share it with us so those who missed the webinar could go through it and don't miss out on the knowledge. Is it going to be available?
Yes, I'll make it available to Annalise this new week. So you can check with her and she'll share it with you. It's sincere apologies that I couldn't share it while I was facilitating. So but I'll make it available to Annalise this week.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
Thank
most
you
welcome.
really. Don't mind me. Okay, but so thank you so much, sir. And thank you for being here with us. And I'm really sure others appreciate your presence. And thank you for the wise words you left with us.
Yeah, that's fine. All right
Okay,
then. Yeah, thank you for watching. All right, now you guys be good. Yeah,
Thank you,
keep
Mr.
doing
Tayo. I really
well.
appreciate.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right then. Cheers, Tina. Lois. Bye. Yeah, bye.
Thank you, sir.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you for tune. Thank you, Annalise. Ah, ah. Oh, you. Oh, okay. So, 14, how did I do? I'm sorry about the noise. I'm somewhere. Something actually came up today. I'm really sorry about that. And I already promised. So I didn't want to come up with an excuse. So I had to do something about it. That's why I tried despite. I'm really sorry for two. Am I forgiven? Don't me. Okay, now 40, don't be like this. Now it's supposed to be a kind boy. Don't be like that now. No, you see, I was surprised the next time. And actually, did you notice I was tense? Did you notice? I don't like. Are you serious? Oh, thank God. Okay, at the last one where I did it, really, 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 I panicked.